All right, folks, welcome back to episode 47 of the Ginge Ball Podcast. We have Ryan and Beck here alongside me for this episode. How we doing?
I'm ready to speak on it.
There's been better sports weeks, I'd say,
Yeah,
for me personally.
yeah, for Philly, definitely been better weeks. And because we brought it up, maybe we just start there. Obviously, we're in the second round of the NBA playoffs.
Now let's start out with Adam Silver. Let's talk about it.
We'll get to Adam. We'll get to Adam. But let's just do a quick obituary for the boys. The Sixers obviously go down 144 to 114 in game 4 and get swept by the New York Knicks. Not really a competitive series. We thought for after a quarter in game 3 that we might be back. I was all in. I was like, wow, this is the best we've looked, even including game 7. That first quarter, we were special. Paul George getting so busy with 15 in that first. And then the wheels fall off, and the Sixers get absolutely blown out. 3 of these games weren't even close. Though game 2, where Embiid doesn't play, is the only one that ends up being a good game. What did we see in this one, and what are your parting words for the 2025-26 Sixers?
Besides the finals run, I kind of feel like this is best case scenario. I hate to be like that guy and be like, it's great that they got swept, but it kind of is because it highlights all the front office issues, and that's where you can see real change, especially getting embarrassed in the fashion they did in game 4. Like, they didn't give you fake hope, make this like a tight 6 or 7 game series. They got their ass waxed pretty much every game besides game 2. And now you can look to the offseason where they can make an actual direction change, and you'll get more than just like a head coach firing just to change the vibes. It really feels like Daryl's going to be gone too. So I'm happy on that front. On the Knicks front, I apologize for my disrespect. I'm going to have to eat crow on that one. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns.
We all are, yeah.
It just is the difference he has become in this postseason compared to any season prior as a hub of offense, as a passer.
Yeah.
Has really unlocked the rest of this Knicks team. And I mean, you look at their splits from every game since that game 3 loss in Atlanta, and they've been magnificent. This is the best 6-game stretch that they've, or now 7-game stretch of basketball they put together all season by far. And until I see evidence on the contrary, I think I got to go with them as the team to come out of the East right now.
Yeah. Ryan?
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think a lot of Sixers fans like underrated the Knicks coming into the series. I think a lot of people kind of thought they were just a little bit better than Boston, but I think they're clearly like a big step above Boston and the Sixers, obviously. But I know I picked the Sixers and 7 on the pod, but I kind of expected them to lose this series. However, I did not expect them to get swept at all, and a lot of the games to be just laughers. So I was surprised on that front. I kind of knew the series was over after game 2. Even if they won game 3, I just didn't really see enough evidence that they were going to be able to rattle off like 3 of the next 4 games or whatever. So I agree with Beck's point about like it's kind of a good thing that they got embarrassed, because it really did highlight just the mistake of the deadline. I mean, everyone knew that it was horrible in terms of like trying to build a winner for this year. And I'm sure Daryl probably didn't expect them to like really have a chance, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. And that's his job, is to kind of feel the temperature of the team and the East and see where we can make runs. Because if you had 2 more useful players on this bench, who knows? It really could have changed everything. I mean, you probably still don't win, but I'm certain the series looks a lot different and you feel a lot differently about the ending, because you have those 2 days after the Boston series before game 1 and you're feeling great about the team and about that series win. And then just 4 games later, you're like, yeah, I'm back to the same old Sixers. Like the fans didn't really show up, which I kind of get both sides. Like I get the players being disappointed in the lack of turnout, and I get the fans saying like, fuck this shit, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And that's like a Harris thing, I think, more than anything. But it is still at the end of the day, it's not a great look to have the arena just run over by Knicks fans. So I'm just I expected a more competitive series, but I'm honestly just kind of like over it already, just because it just felt so familiar. Like, yep, here we are right back in a playoff series where Embiid's hurt, but he's not hurt. We had no bench. I mean, we legit had like five playable players, and that might be stretching it as well. Like Grimes was embarrassingly bad in this Knicks series. I was super disappointed in Maxi, and I know he has the
Yeah.
finger thing, and apparently that's bugging him kind of more than we probably thought. But like going into the series, I think a lot of Sixers fans would say that like he's on par with Brunson or he's in that tier of player. And I really thought that he would kind of take this one a little personally. I mean, he was great 2 years ago against the Knicks, and Brunson fucking owned him. Maxi was, while his stat line may have looked okay in game three, I think it was, he took no threes. I think he was like 8 of 12 shooting, but he did absolutely really nothing to impressed me in this series. I thought it's like the most disappointed I've been with him since he's been on this level of player. And I thought Joel kind of got back into his bad mopey habits, very just like kind of pouty and whiny, really foul baiting, like not even trying to play basketball. So that pissed me off. I thought we kind of turned a corner of that stuff in the Boston series in game seven. I thought he was really locked in, really not trying to just grift for fouls. And game three, I think it was, him and Towns, like I've never seen him play like that out of character and emotional. Like he was acting completely on emotion. And Towns took him out of the game. Like he was bad in game three. He was bad this series. Really, I can't really point to like anything as a big positive in this series. I mean, they just got smoked. And I put most of it on Daryl because I mean he got rid of McCain and didn't do anything else. And when you have five guys that can play and the Knicks are like eight deep and all of them are good players, like it's just, yeah, you don't really have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the really difficult thing is all three of us, well, we all picked the Sixers to win. I think if you held us to at gunpoint and had us like under truth serum, I don't know if we would have said that, but I mean, we all
I
I would
thought
would
have
it
have.
said it's
was,
going six regardless. Like I
I
would
thought
have
it was going to
said
be a good series.
at worst Sixers losing six. Like that's
Yeah.
what I thought going in.
Yeah. And also from game four in the Hawks series, in Knicks Hawks series, when they blew out the Hawks and kind of started to get their mojo back, that was also that coincided with us winning game
Right.
game five of the Celtics
Five. Yeah.
series.
Our second
And
one.
I remember
Yeah.
that night being like, I think the Knicks are the best team in the East.
Yep.
Um, and I kind of, in the back of my head, I thought that, but I still was like, I mean, if we can beat the Celtics, then why can't we beat the Knicks kind of thing?
I agree with you. I think like I don't think I or most people realized how big the gap between Boston and the
Yeah.
Knicks is because they are a step above, and not only are they like the clear favorite to me in the East, I think they can. I think they could beat the Thunder in the finals. I do. I'm not saying I'd pick them, but like
Yeah.
I think the Thunder are gonna have their hands full if that ends up being the matchup. Or obviously, if I think the Thunder can, then like the Spurs, Wolves, whoever comes out,
Oh,
but
yeah.
if it is the Thunder, I think that's going to be a big time dogfight in the
Yeah.
finals.
I think it'll be good. But on the Sixers front, something that they talked about on the Ricky, Mike Levin, and Spike Askin were talking about is like, right after that series, they were like, I just don't know how this group wins one, two, three more series. Like this
Yeah.
is just not a sustainable way. Like
Mm-mm.
and even the way that I tricked myself into thinking when we were down 2-0, you said that you kind of already knew the series was over. I think I still had hope for that game three and like turning that series around. And I bet on the Sixers in game three before game three and game four. I just assumed we'd
Betting
get
on them in
one.
game four is
I
crazy. I'll
assumed
give
we'd get one. That
game
was,
four.
but
It's
game
wow.
four is the
They
classic.
quit on, they already quit before
Yeah.
that
But
game
listen
started.
to this. I went to Sixers Celtics. I forget what year that was when we lost in five, and I was at game four.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18. And I think it was Tatum's rookie year. And I remember it was the same vibe. It was like we were so cooked. We were dejected. It was hopeless. But we won that game. And that was the first time that it clicked to me that, like, At some point in playoff series, these games just happen where you win games that nobody thought they would win or things like that, and it doesn't matter for the actual series. But I just figured we'd get one of those games. We didn't
Yeah.
even get one of those games, man. Like
Mm-mm.
this was an absolute no good thing, no positives to take away from the
No.
series. I mean, I even for stretches I thought, oh, maybe at minimum we get like Paul George was great, and no, he just absolutely collapses after the first
Yeah, he
quarter in
had
that
some
game
like
four.
awesome first quarters, but like I feel like in all the games he kind of faltered down the stretch, but especially game 3, like he scored like 15 in the first quarter and then didn't score a point, like missed 9
He
straight
couldn't miss in
shots.
that first quarter, and
Yeah.
it's like the defense he was playing was awesome on the perimeter. He was switching up and down from bigs to guards. I got a little beef on Twitter with somebody who was talking crazy about Tobias over Paul George, so I was backing my guy. He didn't cash the check that I wrote. But yeah, it's an embarrassing series. It's one of those where within a week you go from, okay, maybe we have something here, to we need to tear this whole
Same old.
fucking thing
Yeah.
down, which
Yeah.
is the where we are,
And
and we can't.
the bummer is, yeah, like you're not blowing it up. Embiid's extension hasn't even kicked in yet. That's not kicking in until next year when he's due like just about 60 million. By the end, it'll be 70. Paul George has 2 years
Two
left,
more
I
years.
believe. Two
Yeah.
more years. So
54 and
like
57,
no
I think.
one's taking those guys on. And if they do, you're gutting your team to get rid of them. So like you really have no option other than waiting this out. Like that's pretty much it. I am encouraged that the Tony Jones reports kind of made it seem like Daryl and both Nurse were at the door. I kind of figured once they beat Boston that Nurse especially I thought would be safe and probably Daryl too. But it seems like that's kind of up in the air and seems like maybe some of the locker room stuff wasn't as good as it kind of seemed, which makes it even more surprising that they came back and beat Boston to me. But still glad that like I've seen people say like I wish we didn't even come back and beat the Celtics just to get
Nah,
swept.
fuck
Like
that.
I'd
That was
still take the
euphoric.
I'd
Yeah,
still take the Boston series win
special.
to get swept every time. But I mean, yeah, it's kind of the same feeling that I've had for the last couple of years after the Sixers season ends in bad defeat. It's just with Embiid, this just is what it is, and there's really no changing anything until he retires, pretty much.
I mean, the press conference to me kind of sounded like he was at least considering that.
Yeah, which
I'm sure
I
it's
wanted to ask you
entered
guys
his
about that.
brain, but it's just when you have $200 million waiting for you, like
Yeah, that's
I
my
don't
thing.
know that he will. And he's still great, like when he is feeling good, which obviously that's
Offensively,
very
yeah.
few. Yeah, the defense is a serious problem. I mean, but even still, in the Boston series, his defense wasn't like like the Knicks series, him and Boston series, him were two completely different players. And I'm sure he like it had to be on that Jaylen Brown drive where Maxey fell into his knee. Like I'm assuming it was that, but he took other bumps and it's just yeah. I mean, this just is what it is. There's really like
Yeah, I also
they're
think
fucked.
in terms of Joel in the Boston series versus the Knicks series, even beyond where he was physically, when you think about personnel wise, what the Knicks can throw at Embiid versus what the Celtics front court looked
Oh yeah,
like when it's
complete yeah.
Keita and Vooch and Garza, like Embiid doesn't really have to defend that well.
No, yeah,
And like I do think he held up better in that series, but when it's Cat who's stretching the floor in a
right.
real way, not like Vooch, which is like all
And like
theoretical.
Brunson's the one catching him off
Yeah.
screens.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's
that's
got
I
nothing.
mean, besides Pritchard, there was no guard like really putting
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
work in
like
the pick and
Brown
roll.
coming
I
off
think
a
that's the
screen
main
is
thing.
so
Yeah.
much different than Brunson. Like
Yeah.
that's food for Brunson.
Yeah. So like in that way, I think the matchup was a lot worse for this version of Joel that can't move laterally and can't get out to the perimeter. And yeah, I mean, it's just I don't really see a world where Embiid leaves the money on the table, and it's not like one of those. We had a couple of people in our comments on Twitter being like, "Hey, is there any chance they could like Bobby Bonilla his contract?" And I'm like, "That's not really a thing in the NBA." So if
Yeah, I
anybody's
don't
out
even
there
think that's
wondering
like legal.
if they can like stretch it over 30 years, no, they cannot. That's not a thing in the NBA. But
Yeah, and I've seen people say they're like medically retired, but like
that's what they were saying for
a
last year. Yeah.
a the I mean he's not gonna be the one that starts that process, and I just can't see the Sixers doing that to arguably our biggest franchise legend. Like he's been here for his whole career. I just can't see them having it end that way. That'd be a pretty shitty way to do it. And I mean, if he was cool with it and like kind of wanted to do him a solid, sure, but I just can't really see that happening because you have to prove that he literally cannot play basketball, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, I think he plays out this contract, dude.
Yeah,
And like
I kind
what
of
it
do too.
probably ends up looking like is he plays 25 games one season, 40 the next,
Yeah,
33 the next, and then he retires. And that's kind
yeah,
of like the way this slowly fades out. And that's a sad reality, and it's going to hurt the team's like team building. But I had a discussion with a group chat. It's like we kind of knew that we were going to have to ride out the Embiid thing. Like
oh
that,
yeah.
like
I mean, they
you
probably
wanted,
didn't need to give him that extension. Like that was probably a mistake, but
yeah. But at the same time, if you didn't extend him, we know how that goes where if you
It's
don't extend a guy
turmoil. It's
early and it's a
immediate turmoil.
star, then yeah, the locker room sours, he gets pissed, maybe he doesn't report the stuff. You get that kind of thing. And I guess if he got the max extension, then that's what Embiid that's the real reason why I don't think Embiid's going to retire is because he and his agent negotiated a max
correct.
extension. They didn't
Yeah,
negotiate like a team-friendly extension to end his
yeah,
career. It was the most possible money. So that
yeah.
matters
He's
to
due
him.
$70 million with a player
Right.
option in 3 years.
Right. So I I think he picks that one up.
Yeah, I think he's gonna say, yeah, I think I will accept
um
that option.
but yeah, I did also just want to say on the Knicks side of this, I have a little stat graphic here from Half Past Noon, who they do great shit. If they ever see one of our clips, Half Past Noon, they do great stuff. But on Karl Anthony Towns in this series, his assist numbers 6.6 assists per game, which were in the 97th percentile for his position. He averaged less than 2 assists per game in all of his previous playoff series.
Wow.
He had 1.5 blocks per game throughout this playoffs. He's never averaged more than zero point 0.7 prior to this. Over 7 defensive rebounds, 97th percentile. His 3-point percentage is 48% in these playoffs. Like we're getting a ridiculous version of Karl Anthony Towns in this playoffs, and I think that's a huge credit to Mike Brown. We talked about how we thought he might be a downgrade from Tibbs a couple weeks ago. He's
Yeah.
really unlocked Cat as the hub of this offense, and it's taken the Knicks to a new level.
And defensively, like he fouled Embiid too much. Like he got himself in trouble too often. But I mean, it's also just hard when you're guarding Embiid and he's going to get calls. But like defensively, he has taken it upon himself to be a much more impactful defender. Because like in Minnesota, he was genuinely just like a horrible defensive big man. Like he was very bad defensively. And he's not only passable, he's a decently good defender now. So I don't know like what he's done to kind of to credit to their coaching staff and credit to him because it takes more than just like trying harder to be a good, especially as a big man. So they've got him trying harder, but also they've got him in the right system that allows him to be effective. So I mean, they're an impressive team.
Yeah. Yeah, Beck. What do you think about these Knicks?
Yeah, it's the first time since this iteration that came in last year where they're playing to their full potential. Like I wouldn't even say when they went up to Boston last year, you felt like they were maximizing all the talent that they had. More to the Towns point that you mentioned, like with the assist uptick, it's also coming with he's playing 6 less minutes per game on average than he has in prior postseason runs. So, I mean, to get that quality of uptick in production while playing, 6 minutes in an NBA game is a lot less.
Yeah.
Like if we're
Yeah.
really getting down to it, that's 1/8 of the game that he's playing less now. But yeah, I think not putting the burden on Brunson to create everything makes a humongous difference because I don't ever think they would get even to a finals appearance with him, as the hub of the offense or playing how he did last year. Yeah, if that puts it in perspective. And getting the best version of OG right now and like Bridges, I feel like there's a little bit left to be desired still, but like this playoff run, he's been a plus if you look at the advanced statistics.
Yeah.
So I can't really argue.
And when OG's scoring is uptick like it is now, like it makes Bridges scoring matter a little bit less too. Because OG's
100%.
like been 20, 22 a game or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, Mikhail's shooting the piss out of the ball, man.
Yeah, and he's been shooting like he's giving you what you need.
In this series, he was 7 for 10, 9 for 13, 8 for 14, 6 for 10. His efficiency since really the end of that Hawk series, he had a really tough first 5 games of that Hawk series. And then in the game 6 clincher, and then for this entire Sixers series, he's been great.
Did
And
OG
you
even
can
play in game 4? I didn't even watch game 4 because I just
did
knew that
who?
it was OG. Did he play
No,
game
he did
4?
not.
Yeah, that's
That's the
awesome.
other thing we didn't talk about is like we weren't even playing the best version of this Knicks team in
No.
game 3 and 4, and they still just dominated
I
us.
mean, it's a different team than the first 3 games of the Hawks series. You can't
Yeah,
convince me other like
Yeah.
a flip
whatever.
switched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
think they
still
got
my
punched in the
concern with
mouth
them.
and
Like
responded.
this is the first time we've ever seen this Knicks team play up to this caliber.
So that's a
It's
concern to you, you said.
that would be my concern is
Oh, okay,
can
yeah.
they sustain this level of play? Because
Especially when the competition gets better. Yeah.
yeah, like if they revert back to their old ways that are just a lesser extent of high level basketball, then what does that look like? I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. But if I'm getting this version of the Knicks team, I agree with Ryan. I think it is at least a tough series for OKC. Like I don't think it's
Yeah.
a cakewalk at all.
No.
I mean, yeah, like the Pacers took them to 7.
Yeah, I
And
do
like,
wonder if like the Pacers had like it just they were just such a unique style team, and I wonder if that just kind of gave OKC fits in ways that maybe the Knicks can't. But I mean, the way they're playing, if they shoot the ball like this, man, like I'm not ruling them out from winning anything.
yeah,
It's just as bad as the Sixers played. When a
the
team shoots
Knicks
like
did
that,
just play
man,
fucking
there's
awesome.
just not
Yeah.
a ton you can do. And like even their bench, the minutes we haven't even talked about like the depth they've gotten out of guys that we probably wouldn't have said we'd expect them to get these
Deuce
kind of
McBride's
minutes from.
never missed a shot against the Sixers.
Deuce had 25 on 7 for 9 from 3 in game 4. He was a plus 33. You get
Besides him, though, I still don't
Hammett.
like their bench is the question mark in a series versus OKC. If
Yeah,
that
yeah. I mean,
happens.
Well,
I think
yeah,
against a
yeah.
real team in a higher leverage situation, you'd have more questions about like the Jordan Clarksons of the world and the Alvarados. But I mean, against the Sixers, they're very impactful.
I mean,
Landry
Shamit was
Shamet shooting
killing
the
us
piss out
game
of the ball.
3. Yeah.
But yeah, I still don't think that their depth is necessarily the strength of that team. I still think they're very starting 5 reliant in ways that OKC is not, and those second units might get kind of taken behind the woodshed. But yeah, I think they give them a fight, and whoever they play out of that Pistons Cavs series, I know we all expect it to be the Pistons. I think the Pistons could give them a better series than we did, but
Oh,
the
definitely. They're
Pistons
just
can't score with the
much
Knicks.
better defensively, but yeah, I just don't think that they can score at the level that the Knicks will.
Yeah,
And the
and
Knicks are so good defensively as well. I feel
yeah,
like their team defense doesn't get enough credit.
yeah, and they've hidden Brunson so well. Like he really
Yeah,
just like
that was another thing. Like we just allowed them to hide Brunson.
yeah. I mean, it was because we like even when we put him into actions, we were not like Maxi every time he got Brunson on
Maxie
him. It's
shied
not like
away
he
from attacking him a
yeah.
lot.
So yeah, I mean, let's move on to the Sixers
He's
because it's
just
making me
passing up
depressed.
shots to go to Kelly Oubre to brick another 3 in the corner, dude.
Yeah, yeah. But let's go to a much more interesting series. Spurs Timberwolves. This has been an incredible, incredible series. Last night we had an amazing game 4 that the Timberwolves take 114 to 109. Wemby obviously is the story of that one as he Ron Artest elbows Naz Reid early in that one, gets ejected, seemingly doesn't know what a flagrant 2 is. I don't know if I buy that one. But what do we
Certainly
see
not.
in this Timberwolves Spurs game?
Dylan Harper has arrived. I just need to get that off my chest. He's such a good basketball player. Like
He's
it's actually
unbelievable.
it's unreal to watch a rookie dominate in this fashion. Like the only thing I can kind of remember that resembles it a little bit is Harden in points in that Spurs series in the Western Conference Finals
Yeah.
the year OKC played the Heat. But that's like really it, man. And like Harden's not even a rookie at that point. So like you don't see young guys come in and just have the composure and situational awareness and just overall poise that Harper has shown throughout this postseason. I don't think he's been lackluster in really any way. I think the Wolves being able to sustain a really shitty third quarter, like after Wemby gets suspended, kind of saved them in a way. And Anthony Edwards coming out with 16 points in the fourth quarter is obviously humongous. But down the stretch, like the Wolves passing from big to big, I thought was a big thing. There's
Yeah.
2 or 3 pocket passes from Naz Reid and Julius Randle to Rudy Gobert down low that were money and they're easy dunks. And besides Dylan Harper, again for the Spurs, like De'Aaron Fox, he shot the ball a lot, and like he played eye test wise, like it didn't feel like he had a bad shooting night, but it's not efficient still. So like in any scenario where Wemby's not out there, I know he doesn't get suspended, and we'll get to that. Like I just think they need to put the ball in Harper's hands and fully commit to that. Like I don't think Fox can be the guy that you have the ball
There's
in
no
down the
way
stretch
Fox should be
ever.
playing 10 more
Yeah,
minutes than Harper.
100%. And I just feel like that's completely a rookie thing and not wanting to put too much faith in a rookie, but they should. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes them a
It's a
better
young
team.
coach too.
Yeah.
I mean, we should mention like for that exact situation that you're talking about. Maybe that's a situation that a more experienced coach rides the hot hand in Harper and has the balls to make that choice, but a young coach in Mitch makes the safe choice and sticks with Fox, and it might have burned them.
Yeah. And only other thing, like down the stretch, the double teams really gave Minnesota an issue down the stretch. Like I'm not sure if San Antonio locked something there with that, but that was the most that they've trapped in the series. And 3 or 4 times, they're like Minnesota literally either had to call a timeout or throw the
Julius
ball
Randle
away.
was atrocious.
Down the
He's been
stretch.
atrocious this
He
whole
was
postseason.
so bad, man.
Yeah, he's been very bad this whole postseason. But yeah, like in a way, it kind of just comes with the Timberwolves. Like you don't,
He had
he
six
plays bad, and
turnovers.
it's kind of a given at this point. So that's something Minnesota can address in the offseason. But for right now, I think the advantage still goes to San Antonio. I just kind of trust what they have more. And obviously, with Wemby not getting suspended, which is crazy work by Adam Silver, San
Yeah,
Antonio is going to
Addison.
be my favorite still going forward in the series. But Adam Silver, just a
Yeah, let's
direct
talk
message
about
to
it.
you, man, to not honor precedent and just shill for a superstar because it's going to bring the ratings up. It's a complete malpractice, and you're putting yourself in a bad position down the line. And I feel like this is a very short-sighted move from him, where if something else comes down the line where there's another star, but maybe not on Wemby's level, where they have an infraction like this, they will get suspended, and it will be direct hypocrisy right there. Or
I
Adam
mean,
Silver's just gonna have to bite the
if you're the
bullet.
Wolves, why don't you send Kyle Anderson out there to just elbow Wemby in the face? Like seriously,
Yeah. And
if we're not suspending
yeah,
guys.
yeah, the NBA makes plays by their own rules whenever they see fit. So I mean, I think that's an unbelievable thing not to suspend him for that. It's you have to, and like one game, I'm not saying any more than that, but you have to
Yeah,
suspend
I
him in
agree.
that situation, especially given like just the history of the league and what you've done as commissioner in the past. Like guys that got suspended for much less. And if you
Yeah.
want to point to like I feel like I see a lot of talking heads saying like they're not protecting him and they're showing like clips from prior games or this game
Yeah.
where he's getting hit
Mitch
and like
Johnson
grabbed.
said that. Yeah.
Then and I know the counterpoint to this is going to be his history, but Draymond was getting his ankle grabbed by Domantas Sabonis directly before he stopped. And I
Stepped on
mean,
him.
yeah, and then that's a direct reaction to what Sabonis did. And
Yeah.
I'm not a guy who gives Draymond Green any grace, but like if that's the way we're playing, then it's the same thing. Just a guy with more history of
Yeah.
shit going down.
Yeah, I think the history things is what made the decision, which is to me crazy because that's what people have said even on the broadcast where they were talking about like they were theorizing what might happen with the suspension. They were saying, well, Wemby has a history of like goodwill and like he doesn't really have any other incidents like this. So maybe that goes in his favor. It's like, okay, but at what point is it just like he wound up and elbowed a dude in the throat with full
And he's
intent?
also like never played in the playoffs.
Right.
Like,
So it's like, yes,
yeah, he
there's no
doesn't have
history, but there
history
was
because
no,
he never
yeah.
had the opportunity to do it.
But even,
Every like cryptic clip of him talking about like the concussion protocol, like I think Silver's legitimately scared of him.
well, I think he's
When
scared
he was
of
talking to him in
like,
the post game, and he was like, "I'll talk about it after the season." I don't think he wants Wemby to be like if he suspends him here. I think Wemby takes it as like a personal jab and like airs out shit. I just don't think that's
yeah.
something Adam Silver has wants to deal with, and
What's
if
he
he can
gonna
avoid
air
it.
out though?
I don't know. I don't know. Some
Go.
bad press isn't good press, and I don't think Adam wants any PR nightmares from possibly the biggest superstar in the game, in the face of the league.
Well, I think
If
that
he can
last
avoid
part
it.
is why he really isn't getting suspended is because
Yeah.
you need the face of your league playing in the playoffs. And if he does suspend him for game 5, there's a great chance that the Spurs lose this series and you get no Wemby for the rest of this playoffs. And unfortunately, to the league, that's a huge loss to not have the face of the league in another round of this of maybe 2 more rounds of the playoffs. and all the marketing and social media shit that goes along with that. And I think at the end of the day, that's really what it is. As sad as that
Yeah.
is, like they just need Wemby in these playoffs, and they're gonna do everything they can to keep him in it.
And I get that, but I was stunned when I saw that he wasn't being
Hmm.
suspended. I mean, we know Metta got 7 games. 6 of them were he missed 6 playoff games, and then the opener the next year. The Whiteside one, he got 1 game.
Wow, the white
Um,
side one. I forgot about that.
and I thought Wemby's was like in between those two. So like, I definitely didn't expect any more than 1 game because they want Wemby to play, but. I was stunned they got nothing. And the thing is, like, yes, Wemby's the face of the league, but like, if the Wolves advance, like, it's not like Anthony Edwards
Yeah,
is fucking Joe
chopped liver.
Ingles. Like, people love Anthony Edwards. He's like
Damn, Joe
one of the
Engel
most
slander.
popular players in the league right now. So I mean, I understand that they want Wemby in there, but it's not like a disaster if the Wolves advance to me ratings wise. So that's another reason that I'm a bit surprised. Like, obviously, it's a different conference, but if they were playing someone like the Cavs, Mitchell's not really a needle mover. Ant's up there to me
Yeah.
in terms of like the guys that people are turning NBA games on to watch. I think he's pretty high on that list.
Especially for America.
Yeah, yeah. So with that, coupled with just the actual elbow that Wemby threw, the action of it, I'm
Crazy.
stunned that he.
And
that
this
he
isn't an
didn't get it.
elimination game. You're going to see Wemby again. And the
Yeah, he
series was
will
going to go
play again
seven
no matter what.
regardless.
Right.
The series was going to go seven regardless if he got
Hmm.
suspended for game 5.
Yeah, which might go in the NBA. Like that's another thing is like that goes in the NBA's favor if the series goes longer. Like the series has been incredible. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look into playoff specific incidents and really go through it because a lot of the ones that I've seen are like either regular season or like guys who already had other like we talked about with Draymond. He had already been ejected in those same playoffs and had other instances. So like that went to the suspension.
But like even the Draymond one in the finals against the Cavs, they could have chosen to leave it as a flagrant one. Like
Yeah, they
it's not like
upgraded
they
it
didn't
to
know that
suspend him.
upgrading it would suspend him. They obviously knew that and they chose to do it. So and that was game 6 of the NBA finals.
Yeah.
So like eh, every precedent they've set just says that he should be suspended. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Suspending Zach Randolph in game 7 of 2014 first round against the Thunder. I mean, it's just crazy work.
Special.
Man, did that make the
Special
ratings ever
CPO.
better? No. No, we just wanted OKC to advance. I mean, Adam, you're a fucking cuck.
Speak on it, Adam.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I do want to ask now that we know that Wemby is back for game 5, where do you sort of see the T Wolves' odds of actually winning this series now that it's locked up at 2-2 and you are going to have Wemby the rest of the way, hypothetically, if nothing else does transpire?
I lean Spurs. I think it's a 7, going 7, just with the home court and Ant's kind of injury, which I don't trust the explosiveness completely. And it's kind of a given at this point. You're going to get a bad performance from Julius Randle, like Ryan said. I mean, that's a big part of it. And they can't play Mike Conley anymore. Like they've pretty much committed to Mike Conley's getting 10 minutes or less per night. Io's not 100% either. Like he's working himself back in.
Yeah.
It's tough to see Minnesota take 2 out of the next 3 games with Wemby in all 3 of these games. I do think this gets more testy though throughout the stretch of the series. Like you open up a can of worms with that too. Like for the series, they potentially get out of hands in terms of chippiness and physicality. Because like Minnesota's going to retaliate. They're not just going to
that's
fucking
what I
sit there
would
and
say.
take
Yeah,
that.
why not just send Ingles
Yeah.
in there to give him a bow to the face?
Completely. I mean, it's fair point. Just the San Antonio's depth. Like I think Cornette gives them great minutes even when Wemby's off the floor.
Yeah.
I think
He
I
was
trust
good
their
last night.
depth a little bit more at this point. Like Terrence Shannon, this is his first rodeo doing this, and he's been pretty good. Like he was 3 of 12 last night, but he
He
sustained
played better
himself.
than that, though. Yeah.
Yeah, and he held them up in the third quarter. Like he was the only guy scoring the
Yeah.
ball in the third quarter. It felt like so. I'm just gonna go with San Antonio, even though like the youth against experience thing makes me want to go with Minnesota. I think it's a 7-game series. I think it's a grudge match. I just trust the talent on San Antonio a little bit more.
Yeah. I get the feeling, you know how when you're watching a series, you just kind of like get the feeling that one team is a little bit better even when they're behind. Like it's one of those things where it's like when they're behind, it feels like the team in front is wasting the clock away versus when the better team's ahead, it feels like they're running away with the game. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
I feel that way about the Spurs where when they're in the lead, I feel like they're going to run away with the game. And then when they're behind, it feels like the game is like in the balance. So I feel like they're the better team and I feel like they prevail, especially with Wemby being back. But man, if you get the kind of play that you got out of Ant in that second half, the rest of the way in this series, and I agree with you. I don't think he has his first step right now. It feels really difficult for him to get by his man in isolation. But yeah, I mean, he was exceptional down the stretch, and they took that game down the stretch, which I mean, it looked for parts like San Antonio was still going to be able to win without Wemby, but credit to Minnesota, credit to that group, credit to Chris Finch too. They're they're knocking on
How
the
the
door
fuck
of
was
their third
Julius
straight
Randle a plus
WCF.
12?
Yeah, I was just about to say that's how you know that box plus minus is like a flawed
Yeah.
stat
Like
because
Ant
he had
was a
six
zero.
turnovers.
Ant
Yeah,
was a zero, and Randall
Harper
had the
was like a
highest
minus
plus minus
14,
on the
wasn't he?
team.
Harper was like
Yeah,
the
he
worst
was,
player in the game
minus
by
14.
plus minus. So like, yeah, there
Hmm.
you go. But yeah, we'll see. This is going to be an except we need this series too because the rest are not great right now. Um,
Yeah.
let's get to Cavs Pistons. That game 4 is tipping off in about an hour here. The Cavs are back in it. I know you know we're tired of talking about this Cavs team, but they have an inspired performance in Game 3. Max Strus giving them some massive minutes off the bench on both ends of the floor. Some big inbound steals from him and transition points. What do we think about this Cavs Pistons series? And is there any chance the Cavs are able to overturn this?
Cavs to win the series. So, like, uh, I knowing how weird they are, like, I fully admit that. I think like the Pistons just don't have enough juice offensively. Like it's all on Cade's shoulders and their secondary guys, Tobias. And I just can't believe in Tobias. Like
It's
I
been
know,
kind of
and he's been
special.
good. He was good. He was good last game too. But at the end of the day, like, and it doesn't sound great that I'm like after Mitchell, it's Harden, but I feel like they kind of had the recipe last game. Now, granted, like everyone just kind of shot the ball very well for the Cavs, but while I do expect the Pistons to advance, I just think it's like a battle can be less weird in this series, and I think there's a chance that the Pistons can lose that battle. I really don't know what to make of this one. It's just two like kind of teams that are not as good as like their record is. I think like the Pistons are a 60-win team, and sometimes when I watch them on offense, I'm like, this team stinks.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna go to distance. Like I think it could go 7.
Hmm.
Me too. I mean, I don't think an away team wins a game in this series.
I agree with you. The
Yeah, I was
Pistons
just saying,
have the
yeah.
Pistons have won one road playoff game. That was the game 5 or game 6 against Orlando, and
And the
then
Cavs won
the
0.
Cavs haven't won any. So, I mean, history in these playoffs would tell you it's gonna go 7.
Yeah, man. Like bench wise, I would probably lean Cleveland a little bit.
Hmm.
And it feels like you're kind of getting like outlier performances, even from like Tobias is playing exceptionally well, but Duncan Robinson too, like he's
Yeah,
giving you something every game in the series. Yeah, Detroit's probably going to need Duren to like assert
Do
himself in at least
something.
one of these games to actually take the series, and I think he will, just because I
fair.
think he can take advantage of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in the front court in a
I
game.
agree,
I have enough faith in him to do that.
I like don't think he can.
dude. First 2 games he was pretty
Yeah,
dominant.
yeah, he looked a lot better in those first
Yeah.
2 games at home. But with Cleveland, the main thing is like even though Mitchell's like the leading scorer in game 3, yada yada yada, like the balls the balance of the game is in Harden's hands still. Like he controls whether they win or lose their crunch time. And I
That's
just kind of
tough.
think I think he's gonna falter more times than not. And I don't think he gets over the hump in this series again. I hate to do that to him because he was so money down the stretch in game 3, but he has those performances and then
He's our
he'll turn
guy
around with
too.
the stinker. And I think he'll answer the bell tonight. I just don't think he can get you 3 out of 4 here.
Yeah, Harden is like maybe the biggest front running player we've had in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like he's the exact guy who's like when things are going well, he's awesome. And when like the moment adversity hits, he crumbles.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
also like it's a point to Donovan Mitchell. Like you can score 35 points. I don't think you have enough of an impact on the game, like to be the number one impactful player on a winning team here.
yeah. And
And I don't think Harden's the guy to be that for them either. So
yeah, and what you said about like when shit hits the fan, Harden's the guy who has to do it. Is that an indictment on Donovan Mitchell at
they're
all?
just not a
Like,
good co-star duo. Like they don't
yeah,
coexist well with each other, I feel like.
which
They
is
don't play
weird,
off each other and make each other better. It
right?
is weird, but
Because that they hypothetically they're the perfect guard
And
duo
Harden was like
because
great with Maxi. Like Harden
yeah,
was very good at like getting Maxi looks and making things a little bit easier on him. So
uh,
you would expect that he could do it with Mitchell.
Mitchell's just, I think Mitchell's been too used to being like pretty much basically a
Yeah.
point guard his whole career. Like he comes in with
yeah,
Ricky Rubio, then he get, the latter years of Mike Conley. Like he's been the guy with the main ball handler pretty much his whole career. So I think he's not used to playing off ball as much
yeah,
as he is. Like this is probably in his career the most he has played off ball,
yeah,
even with playing with Conley in Utah.
yeah. And he was great in game three, and I'm sure he'll play
Yeah.
well again tonight at home. But yeah, I'm glad you brought up the bench for Cleveland because that was even more than Harden, their moves at the deadline for me are why I originally fell for the honeymoon Cavs because I love them bringing in Schroeder. I love them bringing in Keon Ellis, who now is he hurt? He wasn't in the rotation in Game Three. I
No,
don't
I don't
know.
think he's hurt.
I guess he's just a
Yeah, he hasn't
DNP.
really been in the rotation all playoffs.
Yeah, he played in Game One and Two, but he had no minutes in Game Three. So he had
I don't
11.
even see him in the box score.
Yeah, no, he didn't
Yeah, he
play.
didn't play.
He didn't play in
Yeah.
three of the games in the Raptors series. Yeah. So
Oh
I
no,
mean,
there. Yeah, I see.
so if he ends up just being a DNP, that's tough because as much as like Sam Merrill's shooting is something that Kenny Atkinson wants to rely on, like I'm not sure that Sam Merrill's a guy who's gonna like swing a playoff series. Jalen Tyson, I still like. Struce is giving you huge minutes, but yeah, I'm with you, Beck. I think that the Pistons team to me, as flawed offensively as they might be sometimes, I just think that there's more things that make sense to me cohesively with them. And I just trust Cade, man. At the end of the day, I love
Yeah.
Cade. I think he's special. And I think they're going to advance eventually. Let's get to the other Western Conference second round matchup that we haven't touched on yet. Unfortunately, Ryan's Lakers down 3-0, despite
Tough.
Braun potentially being the best player in the
Doing
series.
everything you can.
And Shea not really playing well to this point in that series at all. He's had pretty uncharacteristic field goal numbers in this series. Obviously, he broke his 20-point streak. He went under in that game too. J-Dub hasn't played at all in this series, and still the Thunder cruise to 3-0 lead and have a chance to close it out tonight. What are we seeing in this series, and what do we think about this Thunder team?
Not really much to talk about. There isn't, sadly. Like it's the
AJ
Thunder.
Mitchell?
They're head and shoulders above this Lakers team. Just it is what it
Yeah, they
is.
just have too
And,
much.
and it's tough to judge the Thunder right now just because it feels like they've ran through both opponents. Like obviously they're very good. Obviously they're the favorite at this point. We got to see them with the real test. Like this ain't it.
Yeah. I Is it
Yeah.
weird at all to you guys that when J-Dub's out of the lineup, this Thunder team like never seems to ever miss a beat? Like
No,
you look at
because
there's
their
a
other
huge
guys are
sample
just so
size.
good and
Yeah,
capable of stepping up.
But
the
is there
way you beat the
another
Thunder is you
instance?
make Chet
Yeah,
ineffective. Like then they've played
yeah,
two front lines that are virtually non-existent.
right.
I think that's really like a big thing that is being overlooked and why I can't really until I see the Thunder either play the Spurs or the Wolves where they'd have a much better test in the front line. I can't really
Yeah.
I can't really judge them. It's like Chet's getting whatever he wants.
Is there a take that the T-Wolves match up better with OKC than San Antonio? Even despite we know that the regular season the Spurs did very well against the Thunder, but what do you think about the matchups in the front court and Ant potentially having an advantage over OKC's wings?
I can't really say that. We saw it last year and we
Yeah.
so like Randall played well last year. Like you're getting even worse version of Julius Randle. Like and
It just
Chet had a good series too last year.
yeah.
I can't really get there because it's virtually or for the most part it's the same Minnesota team. Like there's not really a big difference in the front court.
Yeah.
At least that makes me turn my head and be like, that would give Chet more of an issue. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not there. I think like Wemby would be, especially with how personally he takes the Chet matchup. Like
Oh yeah, he
that
despises Chet.
that's what you want. That's what I
Yeah,
want to see.
yeah, and Cornette too. You can throw at him.
Yeah.
Hartenstein and Holmgren in the last game were 15 of 16 from two. They missed one shot
Well,
combined.
Aiton, dude,
Chet,
Aiton is.
Chet went 0-4 from three, but from 2-point field goals, he was 9 of 10, and Hartenstein was 6 of 7. So like
Aiton's going out really fucking
you
sad,
just
dude.
can't win. And I mean, like you have Case and Wallace playing 20 minutes, giving you 16. Isaiah Joe gives you 12 in 15 minutes. Like they just have too much. And that's not even mentioning AJ Mitchell dropping 24 last game. Like
Yeah.
it's just they have too much firepower to throw at you.
Yeah, that was actually what I wanted to bring up is AJ Mitchell's numbers in this series are ridiculous. He had 18 in game 1, he had 20 in game 2 and on 7 for 12 and 6 assists. And then he had 24 and 10 assists in game 3 on 10 of 17 efficient shooting
Yeah,
from
he'd
the
be the
floor.
Lakers' second best player by a fucking wide margin. And he's
Yes.
probably like, I don't know, the Thunder's like fifth. Like it's ridiculous.
He might be their third. I'm not convinced
Yeah,
he's
you
not
could, you
their
could
best.
argue
I'm
it.
not convinced he's not their third best player. And I think what he gives them, especially, this is also another thing I want to talk about with AJ is we talked about it last week about how when he was coming off the bench, how he gave them an offensive engine off the bench, which so few teams in the NBA have, like a guy that's actually creating offense in a meaningful way coming off their bench. Now, of course, he's been starting games with J-Dub out. But I just think what he gives them, especially like we've seen Shea not playing like Shea to this point in this Lakers series. And for him to just take the reins and do this with these minutes is massive for them. And Chet's been incredible too. I know it's Aiton on the other side, and JJ's like ripping his hair out about having to play him in this series. But I
Yeah.
mean, you got to credit Chet. He looks awesome in this series.
I mean, I'm not even that worried about Shea. Like, he hasn't really shot the ball that much until
Yeah.
last game. Like, the game 1 and 2, he shot 28 times combined. So
Mhm.
it's like,
The
yeah, and he was
turnovers have
7 of
been,
13 and 8 of 15.
yeah,
Yeah, game 1, he had like 7 or 8 turnovers, which was
yeah.
pretty weird. But I think they're probably just not even taking the Lakers that seriously in
No,
all,
I
in
Yeah,
know.
all honesty.
they're like slow playing it.
And that's why I
Yeah.
think they're like, I mean, they might walk into the Western Conference Finals also with probably like a week of rest again. And having never had to get out of first gear, you've rested J-Dub for essentially the entire playoffs. Like,
Yeah, and Shea played 32 minutes on Saturday and 28 minutes on Thursday. Like
yeah, man.
even in the Sun series, he was playing like 38 minutes most of those games. So I mean, it can't be a bad thing to have your star only playing 30 minutes a night.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the Thunder are walking into the WCF and have a huge rest and health advantage over whoever it is that they will play in the next round. But we have some other news from the NBA. We have some ping pong ball news. The NBA draft lottery was yesterday, right before the Sixers game. So at least there was some fun in terms of basketball before that Sixers drubbing. But we had Beck's Grizzlies heavily involved, a top 3 pick. I'm just gonna read off the lottery results from 14 to 1. We had Hornets 14, Heat 13, OKC 12, Golden State 11, Milwaukee 10, Dallas 9, Atlanta 8, Sacramento 7, Brooklyn 6, Clippers 5, Bulls 4, Grizzlies 3, Jazz 2, and the winger Washington Wizards 1. What are your immediate reactions? Also, of course, the Clippers get that pick that was in the Pacers Zubac trade. What were your immediate reactions from this lottery? And who are the biggest winners and losers?
Obviously, very happy. The Grizz got a top 3 pick. The way the top 4 shakes out, I feel like the order for how the top 4 is going to go is kind of set for like what players go now.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's going to lack the drama that I kind of wanted it to see where certain guys would go in that top 4. There was a report that Washington may be open to shopping
Yeah.
that number 1 pick. Like maybe
Well, I
they
feel
give
like
it to
Utah's
Utah.
going to do everything they can to
Yeah,
get
Danny Ainge,
Devonta.
bro.
So that's the one storyline with the top 4 that I think could potentially be interesting. But besides that, like if it stays put, it's going to AJ, Darren, Boozer, and then Caleb Wilson. Uh, I
What
kind of
makes
think
you
that's set in stone.
so set that Utah's taking Peterson?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
the front court, they got Triple J, Walker
Yeah,
Kessler,
true.
but they can
Laurie.
trade. I'm not convinced they don't trade one of those guys. Well, first of all, I think Utah is 100% going to do everything to try to get up to
Yeah, they're
one.
gonna try.
So I'm kind of in my, and I've for the longest time I've just seen AJ DeBonta as a player on the Utah Jazz just because of everything going on with that. But yeah, I think this could get really interesting at the 2 spot. I don't know who's going to be there. I'd assume it's going to be Utah and Washington flipping. But yeah, it's interesting. Like we know DP is a very contentious topic in NBA circles. I don't know if it is as much amongst GMs as it is with like the media, but I think we could get a spooky pick there.
Yeah, I mean they'd have to trade somebody though. Like they can't pick one of the Boozer, Caleb Wilson remain pat. Like I think they have to trade somebody in the front court then.
Yeah,
I, is there any shot to you guys that Caleb Wilson just is too?
It's
not
hard for
as
me to think.
Utah.
Yeah,
No. I'm saying in this situation where it's Washington too, they traded with Utah, made some deal.
no,
I mean, I
I think
love
they got
Wilson.
Peterson.
Yeah, I'd still probably take Peterson above him though.
Yeah. And then Beck, you're going Grizz getting booze at 3?
Yeah,
Locking
which
that in?
I really like that for them. I think him and Edie in the front court's exactly what you want. I think direction wise and like player wise, Boozer's a safe bet to be like a cornerstone for the Grizzlies franchise, especially when they just go through the jaw experiment. All the pieces are there for that to be the move, just because it's a complete 180 from the type of personality and kind of turmoil they've been through with the jaw thing. But the real fun starts after 4 for me, like
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of teams that got fucked up.
Clippers,
Like
man.
the 6 and 7
Yeah,
back to back is what I'm most interested to see because Brooklyn really got fucked over.
again.
They pretty much get fucked over every year in this.
Yeah,
They
They're
deserve
my
for that
biggest
draft
loser,
last year,
and
though.
yeah, they kind of do. And now, I mean, they're in a spot where they got it hit on this crapshoot of players that
They
starts
won't.
after 5. It's like they drafted so many guards next year, but you're kind of in a situation where you have to take either a 1 or one of those longer 2s that the Burries, the Waglers, the Mikael Browns of the world, the Acuff if he's still there.
Mm.
So they're in a tough position. Clippers also, like, I'm interested to see if because you can take Acuff and try to move Garland for picks. That's something you
yeah,
can do.
You
you're
can move
not
Kawhi.
locked into
Yeah,
anything with
You could
Garland.
just
yeah,
you could just go full rebuild and move Kawhi and start
yeah.
new. Like they have flexibility, man.
That's
Yeah,
what I would do if I was them.
they're the number 1 winner to me, along with the
Yeah.
Bulls. Just
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
Bulls
and I
at
mean,
4.
yeah.
the Pacers are obviously the loser here. I mean, that trade was such a gamble, and the GM basically came out after the lottery and was like, "Yeah, that's my bad. I thought we were due."
That kind of rocked.
Yeah,
That kind of rocked.
I respect it from him, but
Me
I
too.
was kind of when I thought about it from this perspective, it didn't feel that bad to me because would I rather have Zubac or the 5th pick?
The 5th pick easily.
Well,
not sure. I'm
you
not
have
sure
to
I'm there.
consider their situation. Like they're contending, so like Zubac is going to help them more
I
right
still
now than
think
the
it's
fifth.
the 5th.
I mean,
pick.
It's just a huge drop off after the top 4 to me in terms.
I
of
agree. I'd
prospect.
rather have the 5th pick, but if I'm the Indiana Pacers and I'm trying to like console myself about this, I'm like, I mean, at the end of the day, we got what we wanted. We got this center that's gonna like complete this core.
But also, it's not just the 5th
It's
pick.
the
Like, they
Mathurin
traded
pick.
Mathurin
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't like Mathurin. I don't think he's.
I think Mathurin
I don't
has,
think
like-
he's like a meaningful playoff player. In my opinion.
I think he's interchangeable and can give you something in the series. And like,
But I just think microwave scores off the bench are a dime a dozen. Like I'm not
Yeah.
that worried about losing Benedict Mathurin.
yeah, that's fair. But it's like if you're wanting some copium as a Pacers fan, that's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Sacramento too. I just feel so bad for them. Like they're in such a dire spot, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
like 6 and 7, like Brooklyn and Sacramento to me, they're the complete biggest losers of the draft. But just go back to the Bulls being a winner. Like now you finally have like a fun young core, and for the first time, it feels like forever.
Are they not the most obvious Darren Peterson team that he ends up like being a disaster?
I don't think he falls to 4. I don't
There's
see a
no way he
situation.
gets
I
to
don't think he's
4.
falling out of the
Yeah.
top 2.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
really
just trying
either.
to think of a way they fuck this up because the Bulls will somehow find a way to fuck this up, dude. Or like they
That
use the pick to trade for an old star. Like they're gonna fuck something up, dude.
I'm
No,
so, like
I
if,
think
if
they
Peterson
sit and
dropped the
just take
4 and he didn't
Caleb.
work out, I don't think that would. I can't look at that and be like the Bulls fucked
Yeah,
that
yeah,
up.
because that's great value.
They're in a good spot now with whoever they get with the 4th
Yeah.
pick, and
Yeah,
Gonzalez is
they
looking
got
good.
the pick where everything's taken out of their hands. Like it's just
Yeah,
you just take the 4th guy,
yeah.
Yeah,
whatever one gets there.
yeah,
Well,
which is the
that's what I was
best
saying
spot for
about the
them, honestly.
Grizz. That's what I was saying about the
Yeah,
Grizz. Like 3 is money because you don't have to make the DeBonsa Peterson choice, and then like you just have if Boozer's still
yeah, you
there,
just pick between Caleb and Boozer,
and you
basically.
might have the most productive player in the draft, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially immediately. He's going to be the guy who's like ready to contribute to winning today.
yeah, and
Um,
you probably get more for Ja in a situation where you don't feel like you're forced to get him out of the door. Like if you get Peterson, I feel like you're in a spot where teams are looking at it like, well, he's obviously Ja's replacement. We're not going to. They can get more value for Ja, I think, with getting a big because they're not forced to trade him at that
yeah. I
point.
mean,
Like,
maybe you have Ja
yeah,
play a little bit and he
yeah,
looks good.
and maybe that could be fun. Like I'm really happy with the situation the Grizz are in now, and they have a fun team if everybody can stay healthy. Like Boozer and Edie in the front
yeah,
guard, that's going to be really fun to watch, and it's a good fit for Boozer too. Like
yeah, they
I think
complement each
team
other
wise,
well.
that's kind of the best fit for him possibly out there.
Yeah, I mean, he was the best at Duke when Gongbo was playing with him, who's more of like a traditional kind of center. And I just, I mean, he measured in at 6'8" at the combine today, so like he really is a 4, and he can stretch the floor well. I'm more confident in the shot than I think some people are, and I just think he's a very good basketball player. That's going to be very good for a long, long time.
Yeah, I just
Um,
want somebody who's on the floor at the end of the day. So
yeah,
like, I'm cool with it.
knock on wood. Yeah, but I'm just when I'm looking at this board, I'm trying to think of ways that this because it never goes. I mean, last year we were on our mocks, Beck and I's mocks last year, we were pretty accurate with how it ended up turning out, especially for the top 4 picks. I think we nailed the top 4, but then it starts to get weird from 5 on, and I think this is like we said, this is a similar draft where you have a team like the Clippers who are an absolute wild card at 5, who can kind of like make a more luxury pick versus like a team who's completely starting from scratch and just has to take the best player available. Like maybe if they are inclined to keep Kawhi and Garland and retain this core, maybe they go completely off script and go like Yaxel or Mara at the 5th pick and go with the guy who's like more helpful for winning right now. So I think 5's going to be really, really interesting and could shape this draft because then you could get guys who are special prospects falling a little bit further. But yeah, I also think Golden State at 11. I've seen Phylon projected to go there a lot. And I think that's just a match made in heaven. And I said this on Twitter, but the Warriors, of course, famously missed out on LaMelo and Halliburton the year that they picked James Wiseman, and it set their rebuild back. I think Phylon reopens the door, man. Like, I think he's that good. I'm so high on him, and I think that's a
Same.
perfect landing spot.
Yeah, no, I think he rises. I think if you see a faller from that crop that we think is going to go in the top 10, just based off the measurables I saw today, Flemings is going to
Yeah,
drop.
he
The
reeks of
wingspan only being
dropping.
6'3.5"
Yeah,
and
it's
only
bad.
being a half an inch taller than A Cup, I
Yeah.
think he's going to fall.
I think, especially because we've seen reports that Mara's going to jump. I think Phylon's going to jump. And then you see the stuff with him, especially the way he played in March Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's down to like back end of the top 10, maybe even like 10 or 12.
I can see him end of the lottery 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely fall.
I mean, I also didn't want to talk about Giannis at all, but like the Bucks are in an interesting spot at 10.
Yeah,
Now that I'm thinking about it, like
for sure.
if you're thinking about Utah trying to, pivot out of too, if they can't get AJ, like that's a fun Giannis destination. You give up 2, Jaren for Giannis and 10, like that's a good starting
That is interesting.
on both sides. I was
We're just, I love it though. I mean, yeah, it's true. Like had they, I mean, it could have even been more interesting for the Bucks if they if they rose up a little more. But yeah, I mean, they're in a really interesting spot because you also have to wonder what is Giannis's trade value right now. Because we're now like 3 cycles in with the Giannis Willie won't they thing, and it's definitely gone down considerably. So I'm really interested to see if there's anything interesting about this Giannis sweepstakes that's just gone on for fucking ever. It's what they're able to get in a return for Giannis and what actually people think of Giannis now. Like he's not the same guy he was when he was in the MVP conversation every single year. I still think when healthy, he's one of the 10 best players in the NBA, but we haven't seen him very healthy lately. And we know that now we don't know what's up with his headspace. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Any other sort of comments on this lottery before we adjourn here, let's?
Well, I feel like you guys are underselling how disastrous this is for the Pacers. The Clippers are getting their 29 unprotected first as well. So it's 29 unprotected.
Oh, it's certainly not good.
And Mathurin for Zubac. That's tough, man. That's tough.
I definitely might be underselling it. It's tough for me to call them the biggest loser when I see teams like Brooklyn and Sacramento back to back at 6 and 7. Them to me, they're in such purgatory and directionless that it's really tough to come up with anything optimistic.
Overall, like of course the Pacers are in better shape than those teams. I just think like you might have like cost yourself like any chance at being a true contender again with this one, I think.
Also, I can't say that with the East. The East is just so horrid to me that I'm like,
that is true.
We might enter the offseason with them being the favorite in the East for next year.
Yeah.
So like I can't really sit here and be like it was that much of a disaster.
It's just like I feel like when you're a team that's that good, like on the verge. Well, I can't even say on the verge. They went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals, but like it's so hard to make margin moves around the margin in the NBA that I feel like you just fucked like the assets that you had completely up. And it's just tough to bounce back from it's not a waste because you still have a good player in Zubac, but man, like when you're trying to improve your team, like Siakam's not young. You could see in a couple of years, like he could be on the decline and stuff like that. And like, that's when you kind of need to have the ability to pivot on stuff. And this one hurts. This one hurts a lot.
I think you're spot on in terms of it hurts them in terms of like extending this in the same way that we talk about with the Warriors all the time and like them not being able to sustain what they had with like the draft and retaining assets. For 100%, this hurts that. But as Beck said, next season, what helps you more, the 5th pick or Ivica Zubac?
Right.
It's Zubac by a decent margin to me.
I'd agree with that.
Especially when you know that you had a team that was leading in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and then your best player
easily could have won that game.
Literally tore his Achilles.
Alburn doesn't go down.
Yeah, like you're there. So, yeah, I mean it's tough. It's in the short term, fine to me, and maybe even a plus. In the long term, it's pretty detrimental to their team building. But then you'll also have assets in terms of the players on the team, so maybe they try to recoup some of that. But yeah, I mean. The Clippers shooting up was pretty nuts. Also, Washington just actually being able to finally get the number 1 pick after all these years.
I'm like pretty happy the Wizards got the first pick.
I
don't know why. I have no connection to the Wizards at all, but like I feel like they just needed a win.
Yeah, since Michael Winger took over as the president of basketball operations there, they've just been a much more competent franchise. And like we talked about it when they got AD and they got Trey, it's like buy low guys that you just take a swing on, and they're not going to play basketball, so you're still going to be high in the lottery odds, and you end up with the number 1 pick where, you know, if you want, AJ DeBonsa's a Washington Wizard. Like, that's the reality of the matter now. And you could be pairing him with Trae Young and AD.
Yeah, I wonder what happens with – I feel like Trey's like a pretty safe bet to stay there.
Yeah, he'll stay.
But, like, Davis is the one that I'm more like – he probably doesn't want to be there at all.
Does that change now, though?
I would imagine
if it's AJ,
it could, but like Davis is what, like 30?
It's like 31,
33 now, or he's 33.
He's like Embiid's age, yeah.
Yeah, I just checked. He's 33. He's signed, so he has a player option Oh, so he'd have to opt in this year because this is the last year of his contract, and then he's got a player option. So I guess he could just say fuck it. But also, it's for 62 million, so most guys aren't declining that.
Foul play with
And
Anthony
like,
Davis.
and like, who's paying Anthony Davis if he does decline
Yeah,
that option?
yeah, it might end up just
Impractical
being
Jokers.
like
Let's go. Yeah, he could just go
Yeah.
the TV route. We haven't
Yeah,
even talked
yeah.
about that. What if he steps away?
I've been binge watching foul play with Anthony Davis all my life.
Back. The one with Mercedes Lewis was kind of special, I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, he
With
was
the
about to crash
valet.
out. Yeah.
With the valet, that was pretty good. But yeah, I agree with you. Right? Like, well, to me, AD was like 100% gone. I was already factoring that into what I was
Yeah.
thinking about the Wizards, and then weirdly, like all the AD leaving stuff subsided a little bit after the lottery. I know it's been a relatively brief period, but
It's been one day.
I know, but people like NBA talking heads are talking about the Wizards with him in the conversation, which wasn't happening a week ago. So like I think people generally think that them getting the number one pick changes the calculus for AD's decision.
I think he's a deadline candidate. I think it's a fun team in the first half, and then
yeah,
They
yeah.
cash
I
in.
think
Yeah.
that's probably likely.
I don't really think it matters what he wants to. Like, I think they cash in on him at the deadline, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, well, in this front office now we know is like
Yeah.
they understand value in ways that the previous front office didn't. Is there any chance that the Wizards say it's Debonsa? Is there any chance that this Wizards team is next year's Atlanta Hawks? I mean, they have Trey Young.
I mean, they're
Why
in the
can't they be the
playoffs
Hawks?
for sure. If you go out there with Trey Young, Sar, Trey Johnson,
Are they in the playoffs
Debonsa.
for sure?
Dude, I'm not sure. Like, they just have so many. Like, it's
well,
tough for me to say.
It
They have
kind
a
of depends on
hodgepodge of
Davis
guys.
to me, honestly. Like if Davis is like playing, then yeah, with Young, Davis, Debonsa, and Sar and Trey Johnson, that it absolutely is a playoff team in the East.
I'm
But
with
that's a
you.
big if because Davis
I'm-
doesn't.
I'm
Yeah.
with you right now. And I think they got. It's just so tough. Like, if Davis isn't there, I don't think they're fucking on
Yeah,
shit
probably
at all.
not. Probably like a year or two away still.
I'm also like, I'm a little worried that Bub, Koulibaly, and Trey Johnson are just guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have too many just guys. who
Deshaun
can-
George is kind of special though.
I'm not sold on him either.
I think I'm the most sold on him of any of those.
Is Chris Middleton still there? Or is he a Mav? He's a
that's
Mav,
actually-
right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a Mav.
Yeah, he's on
Koulibaly
Mavs.
was actually really good to end the season, so I think there's more hope there. Also, think like Trey Johnson with Trey Young is way more exciting to me because he'll have somebody actually setting the table for him. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The Wizards kind of have everything at their disposal right now. I'll be interested to see if Danny Ainge is able to pull anything off to move up to number one. But fuck, man, Cam Boozer might be a Memphis Grizzly.
Yeah.
Special.
So funny.
Special.
Like, of course that
What a
happens.
turn of events.
What if they just win 50 games next year? What if they're just back to like 3 years ago, Grizz?
I hope, man. I need something to be the root for. It's been pretty bleak.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't even been that long. It's been like last year was terrible, but the year before was. I mean, the 2 seed up until like March, and then it all fell apart.
Yeah. And then last thing, Ryan, who do you want at 22?
So I've seen a lot of like Morez Johnson, would love him. I've seen a lot of people want to trade up for Yaxel, which would be like, what is it costing you to go up probably, I don't know, 10 to 12 spots ish? I'm assuming he's kind of in like the
It's kind of a
12 to
big
14
jump.
range. To where it's like we're moving up 10 spots for like a 23-year-old guy. I'm not really sold on that. But like from what I know right now, I would love Morez Johnson.
I think he's on.
I think that type of player is definitely kind of where I'm zeroing in on. Because I'm just so tired of not having a single other big that we can go to. I like Morez. I was impressed with him in the tournament. So that's the type of guy I'd be looking for. Someone to help stabilize the non-Embiid. Like you need a center, a power forward, whatever. And Morez is like a traditional 4, which is something that we haven't had on the roster for like 10 fucking years. So I would appreciate having a real power forward on the team. But I'll certainly be diving into it more, and I'm interested to see how the big board kind of develops here.
If Jaden Quaintance drops, you guys.
I think I'm good.
He's so theoretical.
Yeah.
He's like theoretically is special.
Yeah,
But like,
I think I'm a believer in him.
especially oh, you are.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's Robert Williams like 2.0.
Time Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just for the Sixers, especially
I
taking
know
a
it's
medical
yeah,
shot.
and
Is
Yeah,
probably
you
not.
need
Yeah.
no. I just need a player that can play basketball, and I think that's where kind of people are coming from on like the Yaxel side of
Yeah.
it. Like Yaxel's going to be a pretty decent NBA player at
Yeah.
worst, so I think that's kind of the thinking. But I mean, if he slides, I'd be very into it. I think, but
Dude,
I
them
just
t-
don't
them
really
taking
see
Quains.
Yeah, Axel to me
don't
is
really
like
see the
discount
value.
Paolo,
Yeah,
which like if you get that guy in the teens, that's like a fucking awesome pick.
I mean, I
yeah.
see some Iggy in him.
Oh
I
fuck.
don't, I don't
That
think
would be
it's
kind of special.
Wow.
yeah.
Throw him in the 9.
Yep.
The other guys I've heard, well, I'm a huge Dalen Swain truther. I don't know if he drops, but I think he's a super toolsy guy out of Texas who started to sort of blossom at the end of the year, especially with that Texas tourney run. But I've seen also Alan Graves, the kid out of Santa Clara. He's another 4 who's interesting. He can stretch the floor. Bennett Sturts, our guy out of Iowa, is a guy who might drop.
That's
And
The
where
then-
Ringer just dropped their draft guide. Let me see who they have us taking.
I think we
They
were.
have the Sixers taking Josh Jefferson
The
from
Iowa State.
State.
Yeah,
that's a little
who,
higher than expected, isn't it?
That's
He's
who
like
Trill wants.
Yeah.
Trill wants Joshua Jefferson bad.
I mean, I'd be into it.
Yeah, I mean he's good, and he's a big dude who can guard.
Where do they have Quaintance going? Because I'd love the Grizzlies to get him with the 16.
The Ringer has Quaintance going.
Yeah, that
We need
Grizz have
we need-
16 too.
Yeah, we need to build the front lineup, and like I want to go 2 4s and 5s.
Yeah, what if you
What's
guys
his
were
first
just
name,
like
Jay?
front court
They have him.
demons?
They have him going 18 to Charlotte.
Interesting.
Who do they have the
That'd be
Grizz?
like
such a-
Who do
that'd
they
be
have the
such a
Grizz taking
Charlotte
at
pick.
16?
So they have Boozer to the Grizz at 3.
If it's that guy from fucking overseas, give me a break.
No, it's Ibuka Okore.
Okorie? No way.
From Stanford.
That's my
yeah.
guy. Ibuka's that's the guy who I've been sending you guys clips of for like a year from Stanford.
Yeah.
That would be so
Yeah, they
special.
have him 16.
Talk about a job replacement.
I feel like I haven't clicked on one of those.
Yeah, probably not. You should, though. He's special.
Yeah, I gotta tap it.
Wow, that'd be high for him. I would be pretty shocked if he went that high. He might go back to school. I thought he was more of like a fringe first rounder.
That would make sense for them though. They usually
That's
They
true.
have,
Take a
they
guy
have-
higher than
they have
consensus.
Bennett Sturts going 19th to Toronto. It'd be such a
my God.
Raptors
I'm saying
pick.
him mocked there a lot, like a lot.
Starts to Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah, this one
It
has
makes
Alan
a lot of
Graves going
sense when you
20.
think about it, dude.
yeah.
Like table setter, good shooter. I love Shed, but like they kind of need another ball handler.
Where do they have Yaxel?
Well,
going?
yeah, Hunter. That Howard Atkin reply is going fucking crazy.
Is
Oh,
it
they have
actually?
Yaxel
You have
to
82 likes.
Hornets.
Oh, that's light work for Ginge Ball. Oh. Let's go. Dude, the
Yeah,
Reddit's
there's-
what's fucking
yeah,
going
They have
nuts.
Swain going 13 to Miami.
13? Fuck.
Yeah.
What I'm terrified about is that the Thunder just take Yaxel at 12 and the league's just over.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Like,
Who do
Where do
they
or
they
like
even play him, though,
Phylon,
in that-
or if they
yeah.
get like Phylon, which is just like he would never play for
Oh,
them.
he's
They have
actually
the
such a
Thunder
dork
taking
replacement.
the 7-3 guy from Michigan. Ade Mara.
Who's taking him?
The Thunder.
Oh, that would be perverted. I think he's a top 10 guy though now. Did
Yeah,
you
and
see
also
his- did you
they
see
took
his
Sorber
measurements?
last year. Like they have another front.
Who do
line
they have
guy
the
in there.
Mavs taking?
Yeah, they haven't even played Topic or Sword.
I'm like so interested to see who the Mavs take.
Yeah, what are they, 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They haven't taken Wagler.
Ooh. See, we didn't talk about that. The Mavs kind of dropping a little bit. I had them circled as an A-cuff team. I thought that was like a match made in heaven. But Wagler's interesting. Or like if Flemings drops to them, they can
They
use a
have
guard.
Birdies being,
Where
they have Birdies
they have
being
Bur-
pick at 5.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
crazy. I was gonna say, did he
Oh,
drop
yeah.
in there? That's
No,
way
the
too
Ringer
high.
loves Burries.
Yeah, they have Birdies.
That's like Bill's guy.
5. They have Birdies 5
I'm not sure I can
to the
get there with him.
Clippers. And then they have Acuff 6 to the Nets, which feels like a lock if he's there to me. I don't know why. Just
He's going
in my
6 or
head, it
7.
feels like that's
Yeah.
who they take.
A-cuff as a net makes a lot of sense.
Then it has Mikael Brown, Kings, Fleming's
I like-
8. to the Hawks, Wagler 9 Mavs, and Ament 10 to the Bucks, and then 5 on the
Oh,
Warriors.
if the Bucks get
God,
Nate
yeah.
on that, oh my God. That lock that in actually. That he
it's
feels
terrible.
like a buck, dude. New Kuzma
dude.
just dropped. But folks, thank you very much for hanging in with us. We're gonna enjoy these playoff games tonight. We got Cavs, Pistons, Lakers, Thunder. We'll see if Ryan's Lakers stay alive. And we'll see you guys
I'm
next
not
time.
expecting it.
Yeah, I won't be watching that game. I'll watch the Pistons. Yeah, so.
Special. All right.